Okay, we're going to try to figure out the drawing of the platforms again. For whatever reason, we were not able to figure out this quad. We were drawing weird unpredictable stuff with this, using this quad, so I might try the viewport settings instead of new quad, but we're gonna see. Just want to look through this. So width must be greater than 0. Reference width, the width of the texture. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't get why it was messing this one up so bad. There was trying to find just the JAWS reference photos to pull up, but I don't know where that was. Okay, that's weird. Okay, well, we'll just keep going. I'm gonna say, I just want to try. See, I think this might be. See, we were passing this in instead of the get dimensions because we thought it was messing it up. But let's try it again. So right here we need the original texture, which is what? In main, right here. Our platform left texture is just called platform left. So we're gonna pass in. Oh, and you know what? No, yeah, this should be right. For now, I'm gonna put, what was it? 60 and 7. For right now, I'm just gonna put 60 and 7 here. Just to see if it's normal, because we were getting some weird stuff last episode. Okay, yeah. So that looks normal. Now, I want to draw half of this width. So if I put 30, it should just cut it off halfway through, right? Okay. That looks right, but this isn't halfway through, this is halfway of our picture. So if we put in the width here is going to be whatever argument gets passed in. So every platform should be its own width long, so they should be slightly different lengths. This is functioning. See? I don't get why that happens. Something to do. I'm really confused why it does that. It like interpolates what it thinks the rest of it should look like, which I find very confusing. What if I pass the self.width instead? Does that do anything different? No. That's so strange to me. Because what's happening is whenever every platform gets instantiated, we give it a name, an X, a Y, and a width and a height. So this number here, the fourth argument, should be its width, at which point it would be dividing by 2. Well, if we just do its width, then that's what's confusing. We just do its width, say just its width, and it's that weird ass stretchy bit, which I don't get at all. It shouldn't be doing that because we're drawing it at our quad here. Half of the platform's width. That's just so wrong. That's so wrong. Not even kind of right. So why? Width is the fourth argument. 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the fourth argument. I'm very confused. I think it has to do with if it's longer than 60. Like, what does 61 look like? Does it do that weird stretchy bit? No. But if we do like 71, it does. See, that's so weird. Why it like interpolates it? Because this straight line isn't in the picture. The real picture cuts off right here. But then for whatever reason, I don't know. But anyway, the width on a lot of those, once we divide by 2, will be, I mean, every width divided by 2 should be smaller than the 60. So I don't know why that's happening. Love.graphics.draw, platform left, texture, the quad, the X, the Y, the rotation, the scale, and we don't actually need this. But okay. So why can't we draw half of that size using the width argument? Why can't we even draw it correct, the correct size with the width argument? Why is that the case? It's almost like, it makes no sense to me. Let me see the okay. So do we have to use set viewport on a quad? So like if we just have, we have a quad of the original image, and then we have left half quad gets left half colon set viewport. And then here we give it the X, the Y, the width, the height, and then instead of doing this, we're doing the quad that we're setting the viewport of. Does that give us half of our platform? No. Quad expected, got nil. If we set the viewport, do we just call the quad then? Is that right? See, that shit makes no sense to me. Why would it be doing that? Why is it drawing bigger? That's just so freaking weird. That's so weird. I'm starting out from scratch, man. I don't know why it does that. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that weird stuff. That makes no sense to me at all. So, what are we trying to draw? We're trying to draw a texture called platform left. But at the left half quad, at whatever the X parameter is set to and the Y parameter is set to. And then we need to assign the quad here, saying left half is a I gotta look up the love.graphics new quad. So look, we need something like this, right? Just called left half. It's going to be the second argument here, or parameter. And then love.graphics.newQuad gets, no, it's just a function. And then it needs a top left position in the texture along the X, top left on the Y. So yeah, 0, 0. But then the width and height, we're gonna set it to be just the same as its texture, just for now. And then we're gonna say platform left, which is a drawable. We're going to call the getDimensions function on it, which should return both the X and the Y of the source texture. Then we print it. So this should work, and it should print out just exactly the whole texture of our left platform. Okay. So now the goal is we're going to print out half of this texture. Well, not half of this texture, but half of the length of whatever the width of the platform is. So if the platform was 60, this is what left half would draw. But what gets weird is when we plug in the width that we're getting here as our argument, that's when the wonky starts happening. by Love 2D quad drawing interpolated pixels. I don't know what to do. Quad, Love 2D quad drawing incorrect. I don't know. Oh, that's cool. I just don't get why passing in width here makes it super long. Makes it draw super long. Longer than the image even is, which is so confusing to me. I really don't get it. It's almost like it takes the last pixel Let me see what happens if we're doing just this 60. Yeah. Oi, 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 oi. It's so, this is not the part I thought I would have any trouble with. See, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I guess the question is, if I do this self-dot width divided by a bigger number, will this edge come inwards or not? So if I do this divided by 4 instead of divided by 2, does that edge move inwards? It does. So why is it that it's almost like we need it divided by 5? God damn. Why is that the case? Are they different lengths? They don't seem to be different lengths. Which, well, it's hard to tell with all that debugging now. What's the platform one? It's easier to tell on ones that aren't here. I'm gonna do, so this is platform 1, platform 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 and 5 are gonna be ones that I can kind of check easy. So 2 and 5, I'm gonna put the width here because I'm going to be tweaking these to make sure that they're different. widths. What we're drawing is different widths. So I'm also going to take out the this here. Let me see. I'm just going to put this one off and this one off so I can see platform 2 better. Wrong. Okay. But see, they're not different lengths, which is incorrect. I'm going to take that back off. Because whatever's getting passed in here isn't working correctly. Because there's 2 different numbers being passed in on these, on platform 2 and 5. One is a 120 and one's a 40. So this one should be, well, it's hard to say because there's no, okay. What the heck? I guess let's pull off this, just put it back to 60. Let me see. So it's like no matter what length the object is, it's going to be printing out the same length of picture, at least when this is hard-coded. It's just so weird that width, passing in the width here, makes it weird. It's like, when do those even stop? You know, they just go off screen, but I don't know when they stop. If we divide by 2, we can see that it stops. So I guess we can infer that whatever width is getting passed in is twice as long as from here to here, which looks like it's maybe width of the screen, you know, virtual width, but it should be this self.width, which is the parameter that's, or the argument that's passed in as a parameter. It's just so silly to me that this is what I'm stuck on. It doesn't make any sense to me. Our new quad is a 0, 0 starting. Because if we do this to be like 4, it'll cut off the platform on the X. Yeah. So that makes sense to me. That should cut it off completely. Oh, no, that's just the X position, so it's just shifting it. So why is this not working though? Because every platform has a different width. It's its 4th argument. And right now, you know, this is the big one and this is the small one. So if we divide by 2, this should be 60 and this should be 20. So that should be still 3 times as long, compared to one another. Yet they're the same exact render. See, because it's like this one, platform 2 and platform 5 are the same width when they're given different widths. So why? So set viewport takes a quad. Let me look in our ostrich render and look at me use the set viewport. We just have our ostrich sprite, which is our quad, from our texture. Yeah. Well, actually, this is... We're not... Hold on. Okay. Yeah, from our atlas. And we do a X and a Y and a width and a height. And then when we go to draw it, we just pass in the quad, which had the set viewport applied to it already. So we would just have the quad, and then we would set the viewport. Set viewport. Okay. And the quad. So I'm curious if putting this in the update function does anything different. Betterment 2 in platform 17. So it doesn't know what left half is. Okay. I don't know. Doesn't matter if I have it here. No. Self is a nil value. So what if it's just the parameter? No. Global width, no value. Okay. Well, I don't fucking know. Let's try the set viewport. So we've got our quad. We're just gonna set it normal. No thing applied to it. And then our update function, because in our ostrich update function, we have the set viewport here. But I guess we don't, since we're not actually updating it with anything. We should be able to get away with doing it in the init, so we'll try it in the init and then we'll switch it to the update if it doesn't work and see if that does anything different. So we're going to say left half colon set viewport. And then X, Y, width, height. So X and Y. And then the width is our width argument divided by 2. Height is just our height argument. And then we draw it as normal, just as the quad, because we set the viewport already. So, fucking what? Fucking what? Why would it do that, man? Why? So how do we make that smaller? Do we say I divided by 2, will that make that brown square smaller? It does, but why? Why is it that? Fucking what? Why does it do that? We divided by 4. That's still too tall. So why is that the case? That looks about right. And then if we divide by 5, that's still too long. I'm very confused. Very, very confused. $60 by 7. So something's happening where passing in these to be the quad individually. Oh, you know what? We might need I think we need this means it's local to this function, but we need it to be local to the object. Does that make any sense? We're going to have a field called left half. And then we're going to put in, so this should be normal. This should be normal. Okay, great. Okay, so that's normal. Now we're trying to draw half of the platform length. So hopefully this platform 2 and platform 5 will be different lengths once I pass in the width to be the quad for the width, but we need it width divided by 2. So does this give us any weird stuff, or does it start to draw it differently now? Okay, that's drawing it differently now. So maybe we did need this. We needed the quad to be a member so that it draws it differently for each one, for each instantiation. So if we go back and now give this the appropriate width, now is this looking like half of the platforms? Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay. So now let's try to draw the right side. We're going to give us a right half quad that we are assigning with a 0, 0, and the same deal. Well, okay, no, this is going to be different, but let me just get this kind of, we're going to get it to be, draw half of its width, same height, and then we're going to be getting the texture dimensions. Get dimensions. And here's the thing, since we're drawing the right side, so our let me look. Yeah, this one starts flat. So we want to end the platform. Shoot, how do I do this? The starting point is going to be halfway through Okay, so this is tricky because we want to place, we draw everything from the top left in Lua, or in Love. So, but the thing is, depending on how long the platform is, decides where we start drawing this. So its x needs to be variable according to its width. So the right half needs to be something to do with the width, but it's going to be, you know, the width. Fuck. How do we do that? Because we need to, this picture needs to end at the end of the width. But it has to draw from the left. So what does that mean? We need to do it's 60 wide, right? So width minus 60 would be, would draw it so that it ends at the correct spot. But then we need to cut it off at the correct spot, if that makes sense. So like, let me just see if width minus 60 as our x. No. Shit. This is confusing for me to think about. We're gonna do 0, 0, start it at the top left. Okay, so let me see if we start it with 0. I just want to see if I can get it to end at the right position. Then we can worry about drawing it, cutting it off at the right spot. So if it starts at 0, 0, that means the overlap will be this part, but we'll draw it. Okay, so right here we're going to draw the platform right quad, but at the right half quad, or platform right texture at the self dot half right quad, and its x position is going to be not the platform's x, but the platform's x plus half of its width. No. Shit. What are we doing? It needs to end the 60 pixels that this is long needs to end at the end of our width. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around this. We're going to draw it where? We're going to draw it not at where it is. We're going to draw it to be so that 60 pixels, so something to do with 60 and something to do with width, right? So it's like, if we draw it at its width, it would be off screen, but if we do, yeah, self.width minus 60, there we go. So that should draw it at the beginning, but 60 pixels away from the end of the platform's width. So now we should have a left and right, but the looping point should be wrong. Well, hold on. Huh? Okay. I'm confused. I guess let's just, for now, we're going to give it the hard-coded dimensions. And I just want to see that you're drawing the right platform right. Okay, that's good. And then it's drawing it in the wrong spot, but if we're doing it at the platform's X, but platform's X, but we want it to be 60 pixels away from the end. So self.x plus whatever your width is minus 60. And then that should be drawing the right side at the correct X location. And then we just need to enable drawing it at the left again and see if that is looking right. It's close. I mean, look at this. This one cuts off incorrectly. But look at this one. This one looks good. You know, platform 3 and 5 look great. And it falls off the right spot, which is good. We need to change the render order on that. Okay. I don't get why platform 1, 2, 3. Platform 3 is... Oh, no, I get why. It's because we haven't cut it off yet. And that's the shortest one. So the right platform, yeah, that's funny. The right 60 pixels in. So this is platform 3 here is probably 61 pixels wide because it cuts off with like 1 pixel to spare. Platform 3, yep, 61 pixels wide. Okay. So we need to cut off. Shoot. I don't know how to do this. Because the we have to do the set viewport thing, I'm pretty sure, for the right half. And we're gonna start it half of what? Half of the platform's width. I don't know if that'll work. Set viewport needs an X and Y. Width of viewport, height of viewport. So hold on. So the idea is we need to cut off the right half so that it doesn't draw the entire right half texture. It only draws like we want the blending point to be in the middle, or at least that was my idea, is for the blending point to be in the middle. So it's going to draw the left platform, and then it's going to draw the right platform so that it meets in the middle of the platform, which they're 60 wide, which is bigger than the biggest platform, which was bigger than half of the biggest platform, which was 110. So we need to set the viewport. I guess I'm a little confused with what the difference between. No. So yeah, width and height should be right here. These should be right because we want the viewport's height. No, we want the viewport's, okay, hold on. We want the viewport's width to be 1/2 of our width argument. So let me see if that does it. Still messes up platform 3. It's so close, like it's almost like I don't know. It's hard to wrap my head around this. Because the only thing that isn't working here is that platforms smaller than about 65 or whatever are going to be cut off by the right platform. So I'm kind of thinking like there's a way I can give up on the middle, meeting in the middle. I don't know if I want to do that just yet though. I guess what I'm trying to say is we can make our right platform only 40 pixels long, or only 50 pixels long. And that would save us this shortest platform here. If we open up in GIMP our right platform right, but the trick is we're going to make it canvas size. We're going to make it 50 pixels wide instead. And we're going to place it still appropriately here. Okay, so now if it's 50 wide and we save this as PNG, we're going to call it in our get, in our joust, in our source, in our picks, is going to be platform right 2, just because I want to see if this fixes the problem. Export, and then we can switch the source in our main. We're saying right is no longer platform right PNG, it's platform right 2 PNG. And then now on our platform, we will do -50. And this is going to be 50. Does that fix our platform 3 problem? It does, but on the long platform, it gets cut off. You guys see that? Because it's no longer 60 pixels wide, it doesn't draw the rest of it. So it's cool that that's working though. Like it's pretty sweet. And what I mean by working is like the whatever the blend point is, it seems to be working fine because each platform looks kind of cool. So it looks like one, two, three, four, five pixels in. And then it looks like this is more than 5 pixels off. So yeah, we need to figure out my initial idea. So I'm gonna go back to main. I want to switch it back. We're gonna have to delete platform right 2 before we commit, because we're not gonna be using it, but we'll remember that, I'm sure. We gotta figure out this viewport thing, I guess. So we're gonna say the viewport is set to its X and Y 0. See, and I think it's, I want to say that this, the width of the viewport is going to stay 60. That's not right. That's not right. Let me just see what width divided by 2 here gets us. Way off. So 0, 0, X. No, yeah, this needs to be, so without doing the viewport to anything. See, why is that wrong? Okay. Why does that draw? Why does that draw the weird line thing? Oh God. Why you do this? Oh. I left these 50, but still doesn't fix our problem. Why? The platform doesn't go this far, does it? No. So why is it drawing it past? It's the right one that's messing that up, right? It's gotta be. Yeah. So left is fine. We just need right to start working. yet it's drawing a weird line. Why is it doing that? If we take off this viewport, does it stop drawing that line? It does. So what in here is messing that up? I would think that this would not change the viewport. This would just be setting it to what it currently is, because we're saying set the viewport to the top left of the image of the texture, and the viewport's width and the viewport's height same as the texture, so it shouldn't change anything. Okay. So now if we change this to 10, that's when we get the weird looping. What if we do it to -10? What does that do? Okay, it shifts it to the left. So the thing is, we don't want to shift the picture at all. We just want to shift. We don't want to shift this image to the right or the left. We just want to shift how much of it draws. So like we want this edge, we want it to cut off to, let's say it's going to be cut off to half of the platform width, and then draw the rest. So how do we, if we do 55 here, say the viewport is not as wide as the whole image, it starts to cut off from the right. But that's, oh wait, no, wait. So yeah, we're bouncing. So yeah, it's just drawing it wrong. The viewport. It's kind of confusing. I don't really get how this viewport works. Okay. So this just isn't what we want. So that's normal. We just need to figure out how to cut. We want it to draw the same location, starting at the same location. But we don't want it to be visible. We want to cut it off. And changing this moves the picture, which I didn't think would be the case. Why does setting that to +10 shift the whole picture to the left? Top left corner along the x-axis. Maybe we need to pass in this stuff just to be safe. I don't know. And let's see if the +10 still messes up. Yeah, so it's like I need something different than set viewport. I don't know. This doesn't work how I was expecting it to. in our ostrich, we have it drawn, our X position is shifted by however many frames of our ostrich we're on. So yeah, that would shift it to the left, which is what we're seeing. So maybe we do want to shift, if we shift our viewport by, let's say, 10, but then our width is now 10 longer, does that draw the correct platform end? No, it does not. Great. I hate that multi-sound. I still need to fix that. But if it's 50, does it start? Okay. 50. So if the width of the viewport, let's see, I think the platform's longer than this. Yeah. See. So we want it's like we need it to be drawing setting viewport. Okay. So if we say, hey, start drawing 20 pixels in, but the width is 20 pixels less than the whole width, then we say draw it at a platform's width away from the edge of the platform, shifted by the however much we're short on the right platform. It's cutting it off. Do you see how it's cutting it off? It's making it shorter, and it's drawing it in the same location because that's right where we end. So we need the width of this 20 pixel width needs to actually be width divided by 2. Self.width divided by 2. And then this needs to be the full 60 minus self.width. Then we need to shift it by self.width divided by 2. No way that's right. So instead of halfway, instead of the blend mode be halfway, what if the blend mode was just this? We're saying 20 pixels in. I think it just needs to be 10 pixels in. And then you offset it. Okay. I still think that's too long. Let's do 20. Which means this is 40, and means this is 20. Okay. So the question is platform 3... Let's see. We draw the left here. Now, look at that. We fixed our platform 3, but we're still, we're drawing an even bigger gap here. So this does need to be dynamic. Needs to be dynamic. Because if we hard code it, it's just not long enough for the long platforms. So, fuck. I don't know what to do. How do we make it so that this offset is 0 if it's a long 0 if it's a long width, but short if it's a short width, because that's the full length. So if you look, the full length one stops drawing at the S of this false, and then if we turn on drawing left, you know, the right one ends here, so that's full length. But then here, it's going full length and cutting it off here. So let me see if I can make it 6 pixels shorter. 6 pixels shorter, does that leave a gap here? So we say 6 pixels inwards, but we're 6 pixels smaller on the viewport, and then we shift this by 6. Still a little gap. It's so close though. It's so close. It's like we needed, well, I don't know. So it needs to be like 2 pixels longer. So this should be no gap on platform 2 here, but then it's messed up. Oh, actually, this isn't bad. That's not bad. So the thing is, this is cutting off at the exact length it can. So any longer, and it would be cutting off the U of this platform. So are we okay with that? It does give some variance, because look, there's like a big dark brown chunk here, but here it gets cut off. And then here, you know, it's different. I might be okay with this. As long as the platforms in the other levels don't get shorter than the shortest in this one, or longer than the longest in this one. Uh, I think I'm okay with this. I just don't like how temperamental it is, I guess. If we do 5, it'll cut off the U of platform 3 or whatever. Well, that doesn't look bad. Oh, it cuts it in one more. And no gap? No gap. So I guess my question is, if we change it to 6, do we have a 1 pixel gap? In the top platform. Yeah. So it looks like 5's the sweet spot where we don't cut off the U of platform 3, but we still don't have a gap in platform, or yeah, we don't have a gap in platform 2, and platform 3 is being drawn correctly. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this, but look at this. If we try to do a platform that's 120, look what happens. Going to be a gap. So I guess the question is, do the platforms get longer than 110 in the original here? Motherfucker. Oh my god. Oh my god, get your butt over here. So the platforms don't change. The platforms don't spawn different, do they? Fuck. If these are the locked-in platforms, then we might be good. Wave 3? Same platforms. How'd he kill me? Okay. Well, I don't think the platforms change. So we might be good. I'm gonna make a constant called viewport offset or something. Platform offset, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to set it to 5. And then in our here, we can say this is platform offset. And then this is width, self.width minus platform offset. And this is a self.height. I don't know if I need the self there, or if I can just do the word itself. Let me see if that's still correct. Nope. Swear to God, I didn't change anything. Give me a break, bro. I didn't change anything. So ridiculous. So what? This works fine. So can we get away with just saying this platform offset and you not mess up? Okay, and we can get away with this being platform offset and you not mess up. Okay, and we can't say that this is width. We can't say that this is self.width minus your -5, which is our platform offset, without it messing up. That's what messes it up. But can I do... I guess I just gotta hard code it. I don't know. I don't get why I can't say, oh, it's not the platform width, it's the right half width. Is there a get width in Love 2D? Yeah, it's just colon get width. No, dot get width. Love graphics dot get width. So does that mean we can call this love.graphics.get width, and then in here we put the right platform drawable and then -5? Nope. What if the width of the window? It's not this dot function, it's the colon function. It's gotta be right platform. No, it's, yeah, right platform. No. Platform right colon get width, like that, and then say -5. Does that work? It does. Does it work without the parentheses? It does. Then we can say subtracted by platform offset, and we don't have to have that 55 magic number in there. And then instead of the 7, we would have platform right get height, colon or parentheses for the function. Okay. And this would be the same as this. Okay. This is starting to be Joust, guys. This is sick. Okay, so all we had to do to fix our problem was to, and here, this should be the same deal. This is get width, and this is get height. And get dimensions basically does get width and get height and returns both of them as different numbers. But all we had to do was set a viewport, shift it by 5 pixels because our longest or our shortest platform needed to start drawing the right side of the right platform 5 pixels in, so it didn't cut off the U shape. And then we just drew it at an offset of its platform offset. It's ugly, but the platforms don't change. So if we're happy with how the platforms are, then we're good. I'm curious to turn off our debugging so that I can see the whole screen with platforms and all. And then if we pull up, if we go in here, full screen gets false. Then we're gonna say run it. And then if we look at the original, it's looking pretty similar. Minus the little spawn points, right? I can't believe I just survived that. They flew right over me. That's so cool, though. That's really cool. It's coming along. So we've got our platforms. I would have liked to figure out a little bit more procedurally generated art for that, but I couldn't figure it out with the viewports and stuff. But we're making progress, and this gets us all of these platforms drawn correctly. So I think we're good with this. The only thing is, I think I want to shift every platform down a couple pixels, because if you look at, it looks like there's a bit more room at the top. Because if you look at how much he can fly, oopsie. If you look at how much he can fly up, yeah, he's got. And then if you look at the height difference between the top of our player and that first platform, it's like one ostrich height. So, give me it. I think we need to shift everything down just a bit. So, maybe 5 pixels. Shift everything down 5 pixels to give us more room on top there. Let's do that. So on all of our platform, instead of our Y being whatever it is currently, we're going to add 5. So 45 becomes 50. 45 becomes 50. 55 becomes 60. 104 becomes 109. 112 becomes 117. 112 becomes 117. 140 becomes 145. So now everything should be shifted downwards 5 pixels, all the platforms at least. Cool. I still think it's a bit more than that, because we're still, it doesn't look like we have like one ostrich height to get to the bottom of that first platform. It's like another couple pixels down, another 4 pixels down or so. Let's shift another 4 pixels down. Let's do 5 to be easy. 65, and this is 114. This is 22. This is 22. This is 50. Yeah, that's looking about 2 ostrich heights worth. And it gives us more jumping height at the top here now. Doesn't look quite as much jumping height as there, but like the dimensions I pulled off were like random screenshots. I think this is fine. I'm going to call that good. I will put our full screen back to true. I'm going to turn off our FPS just so it's nice and clean. And I will remove our platform right to JPEG from the repo. I'm going to get status. Okay, get diff. So here's all our changes. We took off FPS. We moved name to the top. We did all of our platform offset viewport stuff. And right platform, we added a platform offset constant. We took off our notes. That's it. Not a huge day, but it was a big headache. And now we have very much the beginning of Joust. This is sick. Okay. That's sick, man. That's sick. Honestly, I think the thing I'm like most proud of is this multi-input handling. I was really happy I was able to figure that out. In our here, we added game accurate platforms. And we did the offset viewport stuff to do that. We still haven't fixed the bounce sound, only once. We tried doing it once and then it messed up, but next episode we're gonna be trying to fix that bounce sound. And then we can worry about spawning enemies and making enemy sprites and everything like that. Then we're going to do, AI. Then we're going to do collision with enemies, not just collision with platforms. Then we're going to do the point system. We're going to do the animation for the lava, which is going to be dope. Look at that. Yeah. I'm curious if we can see how many lines of code it takes to get Joust working currently, like how many total lines of code. Maybe Git will show us that. Let's see. Let's do git add everything. We're going to do a git commit with a message saying added game accurate platforms with art, or added game accurate platform art. Game accurate platform. Game accurate platforms. And then we're gonna get push to our origin main. Now, if we go to our Git repository, refresh this. Do you see now how pretty all those green boxes are? If I would have had this set up properly, you would have seen these past 2 months have every single commit be green like this. And the darker the green, the more contributions I've made. But yeah, I'm curious to see, I want to see how many lines of code this is total. I don't think it really does that though. Because it's like, I don't want to count how many lines Slam needs, because I didn't write that. I want to see how many lines of code I wrote to get Joust to its current state. We would just have to tally up all this stuff. Well, and it's misleading because all the comments and everything, but it's really cool. Yeah, I can walk through, or just show you guys. Here's our main loop. It's got all of the images and audios kind of initialized, all the settings, the resizing, how to, escape the game, all the keyboard handling tables, and then the state machine render, and then our play state. It's got all of our platforms, instantiations, our player instantiation, a reset, a help state, rendering the ground and whatnot, rendering our player, the keylogger buttons being pressed, all of our debugging. Then our ostrich has got all of our player handling and collision for platforms, which is the most impressive in terms of complexity thing in code I've ever done. Then platforms, pretty simple. And then our constants file, dependencies. So yeah, it's not too complicated yet. But it's taken me months to get here. I'm just happy it's looking like the game and feeling like the game. So thanks for watching. Tomorrow we're gonna do some more fixes. We're gonna see if we can fix the multiple side collision bug, because it plays the sound more than once due to Slam, which is the library we brought in so that we can play the footsteps fast enough. Because without Slam, Love 2D just plays one sound in its entirety, and it can't play the sound again until it ends. But Slam, you can play it more than once, which means up to 60 times a second that side collide sound is playing, which is a bug. And then that's like the last thing I'm unhappy with before we before we do the player stuff, we might figure out how to do the lava animation, just because I think that'd be really fun. And then we can work on adding enemies, making all the enemy sprites, adding the enemy class. We'll probably need a separate class for enemy ostriches, because they have different, well, I think we want a different class because they're not controllable by inputs, whereas all of our ostrich should probably be called player class, but we'll just have ostrich and vulture or something, and ostrich is just the player, vulture is the enemies, because in our ostrich all of our buttons do stuff, which all of our buttons shouldn't be doing anything for the enemy class. So that's why I think we should have a separate class for the enemies. But we already get pushed. And if you guys want to download this code yourself, you can. Love 2D is a free open source game engine you can download, and then if you've got your terminal set up, all you have to do is say git clone https github.com /jakobins/joust.git, and if you run that command, it'll download an entire folder of all of these files for you, at which point all you have to do is take the Joust folder like this. You would take the Joust folder and just drag and drop it on Love, and then you can play the game yourself. And then you have all the source code, and you can dig around and mess around with that stuff if you want. Yeah, I really think Git is something special. I just wanted to see what this was. I can follow. Oh, because I'm not even signed in. Okay, whatever. But cool. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad we were able to fix that, even though it was not. It was way more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be very simple, but the viewport kind of threw me off. Anyways, thanks for watching.